Hey, hi everyone. We're having the weekly catch up about performance and the refactor of the Blob viewer in the source code group. Today, Tim and Jacques are not attending, so it's just me and Dennis. We'll do a quick catch up of how work is doing. So my first point is just to show, just to tell you about how the work has gone on 14.0, and maybe I can start there. So in this milestone, we were continuing to work on the blob header. Samantha has been breaking it apart on the blob header of the blob for the in view to make sure that all the functionality is kept in view, and she's refactoring one button at a time. Pretty much everything except the delete and lock buttons are done because that needed some backend work for the GraphQL endpoints. So we're working on that on 14.1, and that's what's ongoing. On top of that, I can share my screen maybe to catch that on the recording. The instant load directive, it's already been shipped. So as we're using the repository app, we're hovering over the folders and the blobs, and it's already preloading the content, which makes the experience faster. We know on most cases, we don't even see the spinner, which is great. Thanks, Jack, for that. And we also added the blob async request to the startup.js. We know that this is probably going to be replaced by a smaller request, but still in the interim, we're already getting the benefits of having an earlier call while we wait for the refactor to be enabled. Dennis, you have a question?
Yes. So this, do we prefetch the raw content that we are using for the source editor, or we're prefetching exactly the same request that we are having
right now? Yeah. Right now, it's exactly the same request with the markup bloated. But the way that we thought about it is like we'll reap the benefits of this right away. We'll make the page faster while we're waiting for the refactor to be enabled.
This is actually a very good point, and I think this makes a lot of sense. But another question: is it behind the feature flag, or is it done like directly, and it is already available in 14.0?
It's already available in 14.0. Yeah.
Not behind the feature flag.
Not behind the feature flag. The blob async on startup.js, it's already enabled. Yes, all good.
Wonderful.
Yes, thanks, Jack, as well. So for 14.1, very briefly, so the delete and lock buttons will continue to refactor those. Tim in the last call suggested that we could have a way to import the HAML content, the one we have right now, that is server-side rendered. We could still import that into the Vue repository app for the ones that we don't have viewers yet. So we have that issue. So we're going to be tackling that. It's still pending capacity. So I'm doing the final capacity check for 14.1 today, but this is the plan. So hopefully we'll make it. The idea is that we'll have a way to bring in the HAML version of the source of the blob into the Vue app, which will make us very much not have to rely on the old implementation anymore, which is great. And then we're already going to start working on specific viewers. So we'll be, the idea we had is to start by doing the simple text blob viewer, which will be the one that will be the first to employ the Monaco, the source editor in read-only mode. The empty and the download, they don't actually display the source. So they're like smaller viewers, but we wanted to get started with the simpler ones. And this is the work that we're trying to schedule for 14.1. It will get us to a point that we can start in, if all this goes in, we can start enabling the repository in production to try out, to see how it behaves and see the impact on metrics and stuff. We don't plan to enable it by default on 14.1. Eventually, I can see us enabling it for production for our own tests, for our own projects. And then eventually 14.2 we can enable it for all, and we can start then the iterative journey to refactor all the viewers. That's the plan. And do you have any questions, Dennis, on this plan?
No questions. I'm super excited about the work you're doing.
Awesome.
And I think all of this are super cool, and that's
thanks.
That's the progress and the plans are just looking really good. I'm happy you guys find the time for that, and that's super super exciting.
Yeah, the
and also
invested.
already the work that has been done is amazing. So thank you very much for this.
So go on to your point now.
Yeah, so I have a task. I have an issue.
Is this your confidential? No. Can I open it in the recording? Is it okay?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, it's public.
Okay, go ahead.
I think it is public. Okay. Yeah, it is public. So
okay.
This is technically the S1 issue that I took over from your group.
Right.
And it is directly related to the work you're doing right now. And as I write in my, so technically this is the performance of Blob with many lines.
Right.
So the performance of this thing in Chrome specifically is horrible. It like Chrome engine, by introducing some performance optimizations in version 9t, technically made it much worse for big when one tries to render many lines of code, many lines of HTML at the same time. They did improve it a bit in version 91. Still, it's pretty bad. So the point is that I made a lot of investigation and a lot of research for this thing. So that's why I took over this issue from your group. But the thing is that I am going to work with this and hopefully improve this for the current situation, right? For non-source editor version. The point is that I will introduce some tricks, so to speak. Well, so the whole point is we have to reduce the LCP here. We know the performance of rendering a lot of lines of code is not going to be optimal. It's not going to be 2.5 seconds. No way. But we have to reduce the LCP because now LCP is over 50 seconds for this particular view. And I confirm this like to eliminate the potential of this route, because this route is referenced here and it's measured by the quality team on their environment, on their instances on 10K. But I made a copy of this blob and added this to our measurements on GitLab.com, and the numbers actually when we measure it through on GitLab.com, the numbers are even worse. So it's not part of our general LCP leaderboard, so it doesn't affect our scoring there. But we know that the problem is there, and we have to fix this. So it might be not really the S1 because it's just not like in the. It doesn't affect our metrics, but still. So I'm going to improve this for current situation, for current HAML application. The point that your group has to keep in mind is to make sure that when we introduce the source editor for this route, we do not degrade the numbers after they.
Absolutely.
The good thing is that I don't believe the numbers will be worse. Technically, once we switch to to raw content, and we feed it to the source editor, the performance might get better just by itself. But we're not there with source editor yet. So it's going to be more or less like temporary solution, probably. We need to make sure that when we switch to source editor, we do not degrade the numbers.
That's perfect. I'm already leaving a comment, as you can see, so that at least both of these issues will probably incur or overstep into what you're doing. Yeah. So keep them updated, and you'll have the mentions here on the issue. They will then pop up here.
And I really appreciate that the work that you've done with adding the blob into the startup JS, because that alone might improve the things here.
Yeah, but this is the total blocking time, and from our experience in other places in the merge request and stuff, it's things like translation or even if I'm not sure. I think we're just dumping it on inner HTML, but
that's the main problem. That's the main problem. So. What I'm doing now is technically, I'm introducing the proxy in form of document fragment. Okay. So we technically dump everything into the document fragment, because injecting document fragment into the page is so much more cost effective than just dumping the whole thing into the inner HTML. So I'm introducing document fragment, and then I'm gonna play with gradual rendering. So for example, you get on the page, and what we do is, first of all, we dump first, I don't know, like 100 lines or 50 lines. And that's what we dump. And then when the browser is idle, or in the next frame, we're going to dump the remaining part. This will make things, as I said, I am dealing directly with reducing the LCP. This is what I care about at the moment. Okay. And this should.
But this issue is for the total blocking time, Dennis. I think you will get that benefit with it.
It's titled a bit misleading. It's total blocking time. Like total blocking time consists of a lot of things, right? And in this particular case, the total blocking time is affected by the whole time we spend on the front end. Like, first of all, we spent an enormous amount of time getting this huge blob, right? The data from the backend. And I cannot affect that. Right. What I'm doing is reducing the front end time, and front end time is directly affected by dumping that whole chunk of HTML into the existing page.
So it's 22 seconds of LCP and 19 seconds of TVT. It's worse now.
Used to be. It's over 50 seconds now. This 22
50
seconds.
50 or 15?
50.
Ouch.
So 22 seconds was pre-Chrome 90. So it used to be bad before Chrome 90, but nobody expects this thing to be fast.
Your plan sounds great.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that this is purely Chrome related issue. I've run the tests in Firefox. We did not get LCP in Firefox because LCP and all the web vitals are Chrome specific. But in Firefox, at least I was able to run the tests and things were fine. With Chrome 90, my site speed just crashed because Chrome crashed. The headless Chrome could not cope with this file at all. So I had to I even have the experiment project that I can share with you. Actually, that would be interesting.
While you're doing the sharing, I can tell you that the request idle callback has been very useful on the merge request to render things in batches.
Yeah. The only problem with this that I have to address is that if you link to a specific line in a blob, that's not on the screen. That's, for example, you're linking to line number 1000, for example. Then we have to somehow prioritize that block around that line if we render in batches, because we cannot render 50 first lines because they don't don't mean anything to the user.
Same thing in the merge request. So what we do is like we wait for the whole thing to be rendered, and at the end we check the query string on the URL.
That's the way to go.
No, I get it.
So okay, there is a project. Wow. Okay, we have somehow it's TMP, I think.
Okay.
It's called, yeah, Dennis Mishnov TMP project. So you see, like, this is the original file.
Yeah.
Right. And then I started doing the experiments. What is the sort of the maximum manageable file size for? Oh wow, we have a nice bug here. Have you seen that?
No.
Now it's fine. The lines between the rows were not visible. They were shown only when I hovered. Okay, it's fine now. Okay. So probably. Oh yeah. You see?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Anyway,
I'll check. No worries.
I've run these experiments to figure out what was the magic threshold, whether it's the file size in terms of lines, whether it's the file size in terms of the actual blob size in terms of kilobytes, and it was pretty interesting experiment. And like anything technically above 50% size of the original file crashed my Chrome locally. Okay. So and now I will have to run the same test for Chrome 91 and see what's going on there. But in general, this makes it really hard to measure the performance of this route locally.
Yeah, but basically, theoretically, just understanding that it has a problem with long dumps, then your strategy makes sense, and we'll make sure that we use the same strategy. So keep us in the loop once you have that. Maybe send it for review for Jacques so that he can take a look at it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
And then we can if you want to have both of our teams reviews, so you can have Samantha do the first review, you can have Jacques do the maintainer review, and that way you have the main knowledge spread around the whole team.
That makes a lot of sense. I will keep this in mind, and that's
amazing.
What I will do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I will keep you updated and post it in the issue. And if I will run into any like technical discovery issue that will be worth sharing, I will
loop us in.
There is like technically in that issue that I linked, there is a lot of discussion. There is another issue that contains a lot of research as well. I will link it in the agenda.
Okay.
Dennis, related issue with some research. So that one was just closed in favor of the GitLab issue, because that one was specifically done created in the quality side split in the quality. Yeah. So that's how I was pulled into the thing.
Thanks a bunch. Oh my God, great work.
So there was me and Naila did some research there, and we share the opinions and observations. So it might be pretty informative and pretty interesting to read through that issue as well.
That's awesome, and I'm glad it's in the agenda so that whoever watching the recording can go take a look.
Yes.
But Dennis, thank you so very much. We appreciate the help. We did change the label of that issue you stole from us, using your words. We changed it for a group editor. So
it goes away from your board.
It was popping up on our board, and this way I think it even makes it more probable that it's caught for your throughput. Yeah. So it's even though it's in our source code area, we'll keep the category there.
I'm aware of yesterday's discussion.
All right.
Your planning
cool.
session.
All right. Apart from that, we're done. I'm going to stop the recording and upload it to YouTube. Thanks, everyone, and see you in 2 weeks.